Hey guys, so welcome, I hit my wall. Welcome back to the podcast. So I've been on that podcast grind. I've had 3 consistent or consecutive episodes, so I'm pretty proud of myself. We'll see how long this lasts for. But today we are talking about authenticity, and the particular situation I focused on was the whole Nike controversy with Colin Kaepernick as the face of their 30th anniversary Just Do It campaign. So I talk about that towards the second half of the podcast. The first half is like complaining and ranting, kind of like I have been doing with my last couple of episodes. I do that again today, so if you don't want to hear me rant, you can skip to like 30 minutes in. But yeah, that's what I have in store for today. So I talk about authenticity, what it means to keep it real, and sort of the impact that has on society and on others. Talk about struggles I have with keeping it real and everything in that realm. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's a little bit of a longer one, but yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. So I have some stuff to complain about before we get into the main topic for today. So, I've been a little stressed, and by a little, I mean very stressed. Literally has been like not even a month. Actually, it's been like a month at this point. It's been like a month since I've been in school, and already so much has happened. Like, not really academic-wise, but just a lot of senior stuff. Like, my last podcast was called, Do I Have Senioritis Already? Even though, like, I literally was in school for, like, 2 weeks and, like, just told random stories. But no, for real, I feel like now I have senioritis. Now that it's been a full, like, 4 weeks, I'm done. Especially seniors will relate to this, but there are so many expectations put on high school seniors. That's the perspective I guess I'm taking here. But like, honestly, like, you are expected to research for college, which takes a hell of a lot of time. Researching for college is not something you can just do overnight. Like, you need to do a full in-depth research, and then to do that same like depth of research for all of the schools you're interested in, and then people throw different schools at you that you might want to check out, and then you're expected to research all of them. It's just a lot of freaking work. Like, college research is only one of those things where, like, not only does it sound like exhausting to college research, like, it is exhausting. I think I've only, like, really in-depth researched 2 schools, and I visited some other ones that I'm interested in, but honestly, it's so much work. So not only when you get to school, first day, you are expected to research all the schools you're interested in and know your list, know where you're going to apply, know everything about your freaking life. You're expected to know this. And on top of that, you're also expected to, like, pass all your classes. Like, okay, so how am I supposed to be planning for my school, like, future school life, at the same time trying to focus on my current school life? And then not only that, but they also want you to do clubs and organizations and honor societies and volunteers, and then parents want you to work. Not all parents, but, like, I feel like once you kind of get to be at a certain age, at least in my point in my life, like, I really want to work and make money because, I kind of don't want to be broke, so balancing, your college research, your college lists, not to mention your SATs, your ACTs, all those other test scores, standardized testing you have to do, if you want to take a prep course for that costs money, that takes time, causes you to go broke. So you got all the college stuff, like I just said, the research and the standardized testing. Then next to that, you have your current classes that you are taking in school, which can be, for me, I'm taking 8 classes. not all of them are hard classes, but it's still 8 classes and I still have work to do for all of them. So like I'm expected to still be passing and have A's in all of these classes and, you know, still have time to focus on your volunteering, your clubs, your sports, a part-time job, a social life. Like, you are just expected to do so much senior year, at least in my experience. And if parents don't really help with this situation, at least in my experience, high-key shade, but like, honestly, it's just been a lot because there is just no way humanly possible that I can do all these things at the same time. And then if I just fall behind in one subject, apparently I'm now, you know, the culprit. Like, I'm the victim. Like, oh, what did you do wrong? And I'm like, I'm just trying to live my life and I can't do a million things at once. And, you know, I can't do everything. Because parents, I feel like at this point are just focused on the future. They don't see the present. Like, they just see college, essay, letters of recommendation. That's another thing. You actually have to apply to college, which is a hell of a long process. You need to write essays. You need to ask teachers for letters of recommendation. You need to like do all this stuff for college over and over again just to apply. So I feel like a lot of times parents just see this like future, just like what's happening next. At least like where I am and just what I've experienced, they just see that and not anything happens in the present. Your mental health, what's that? You know, who's she? Never heard of her. So that's fun. That's kind of been my life recently. I don't know. It's just been a lot. It's just so many expectations are put on high school seniors, I think. And it's just too much right now because you're expected to have your future planned out, but at the same time, you're also expected to have everything figured out in the present too. So it's like, I can't be in 2 places at once. Like, my brain can't be in 2 places at once. Like, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Like, I need to, like, do stuff for myself. I still need to do creative things. Like, it's been 2 weeks since I filmed a podcast episode, and I don't know, I just couldn't, because not only am I busy, but then also, like I've been trying to, you know, do my school stuff for this year and also for the future, and then also, like, every time I come to, like, record, I just, like, can't, like, it's just, like, I get here, and it's just, like, nothing's happening, like, nothing, like, nothing, like, the words don't come, you know, I have to be in the mood to record these podcasts, so I don't even know if this podcast sucks or not. Probably no one, like, is, like, probably everyone listening to this is like, okay, girl, shut up. Well, I mean, if you're this far, you've probably, you know, like, something that I've had to say so far, or at least related to it, because, yeah. That's my whole senioritis struggle right now. Only the first month of school. Can't wait to spend 9 more months suffering. Love that. And don't get me wrong, like, I am excited for college, and I really am excited for, like, my next step after high school. It's just the expectations that are put on you all at once, and then no one seems to see where you're coming from. Like, your mental health is not put in consideration, your happiness, your hobbies, like, your social, like, everything that's just basic to human need is put out the window because it's just like, work, do this, do that. Like, it's just, that's all that's being focused on. Like, that's your expectation right now in life, is to figure everything else out, and it's just like, I just want to live my life, like, I'm still a teen, like, I'm still a kid, and it's just like, I can't be doing all this, you know, like, I don't know, they say school's your full-time job, but it's like, school is like your full-time job and your part-time job, because you're part-time looking into colleges, but now it's your full-time still in high school, so senioritis and the whole senior season thing is just, a whole heck of a lot. Yeah, but, like, I am excited for college, and I really do want to, like, move away and, like, have a different experience. I don't know, I'm really excited just to get out of my hometown and just experience something new and meet new people and, like, do more with my passions. And, I really would love to live in, like, a dorm that has, like, a art, like, hallway. I know some dorms have, like, different halls that are dedicated to different majors. Say you're like an English major, maybe they'd all be in like the same hallway, or like if you're an art major, they'd all be in the same hallway. So maybe it's sort of a little bit easier to meet people with similar interests than you, or similar interests to you. I don't even know what I'm saying. Because like everyone in your hallway kind of has that same like one commonality, is that they're interested in art right now. So yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool to have, just to be like surrounded by creatives and people that can motivate each other. Hopefully that's my experience in college, or at least at some point in my life, if not college. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the next step. I'm definitely ready to leave high school because, oh my god, I have some other stories I'm about to tell you about things that have also just made me done with high school. Things that also have triggered my senioritis. Honestly, like I was thinking earlier this week, I was like, I should name my podcast Why People Suck, because I've just been complaining during the first half of most of these podcasts, and it's been good for me. I don't know if you guys like it. Once again, give me feedback, because then I know what not to do if you don't like me complaining. But if you do like me complaining, I'm gonna still do that because it's good for me. It's been good for me to complain for the first half before I start talking about serious stuff, because first of all, I feel like I fill up more time because I feel like I'm actually talking about something as opposed to kind of stretching out one topic over the course of an hour. I feel like I have like set times for what I'm... Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna stop talking. So, I'm gonna stop explaining this. So, anyway, some other stuff that's happened to me today, or this week, that has made me really question, do I want to be in school anymore? And, you know, the American education system and society in general. So, this was one thing, is my teacher, my AP Lit teacher, love her. She's a great person. Love her as a person. But it's really funny when she teaches, because she has like a system where she wants you to do something like at every second of class. Like, she literally will not give you enough time to do anything. And it's kind of funny. Like, I just find it more comical than I do, like, annoying. I will get to the annoying stuff in a second, but I'm just kind of like, I just thought of this. But my AP Lit teacher, because I had AP Lit today, she, like, will be like, all right, guys, today we're going to read chapter 1. So go ahead, or, like, this poem, whatever. So we're going to read this poem. That's what we did today. And she's like, all right, guys, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to read this poem. And, yeah, so be sure to highlight the important details in this poem. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. So, guys, go ahead and do that. So she'll, like, talk like that. And then she'll give us, because she's talking so much, it's, like, less time for us to actually do our work. I don't know if anyone is making any sense of this, but it's really funny. Because, like, 2 seconds later, she'll be like, all right, guys, so we have 30 more seconds. And then... And 2 seconds later, she'll be like, all right, guys, so we have 15 seconds. And it's just like, you don't actually give us time to do our work because all you do is talking. And you're repeating, like, yourself over and over again. You're just being redundant. So it's just like, okay, guys, so be sure to read chapter 3 now. You have 1 minute to read chapter 3, so be sure to read chapter 3. And, yeah, so read chapter 3 and highlight the important details. Yeah. 30 seconds left, guys. I'm sorry. This is like, no one thinks this is funny, but I find it really comical because she like talks like that, and it's just like, she gives us no time to do stuff, and then she like gets mad when we don't like do stuff on like don't finish stuff on time, because she like gives us literally like, she'll give us like, alright guys, 30 seconds to highlight an important detail, and then like she'll be talking for like 15 of those 30 seconds, so we can never have enough time to do things. I don't know. This is not funny. This is just funny to me. Anyways, another annoying thing that, oh, this really pissed me off. So, I'm in yearbook. I don't know if I've said that, but basically, I help make the yearbook at my school, obviously. And our yearbooks are not just, like, pictures of people at the school and just, like, you know, mugshots, but they're just, like, it's basically a documentation of the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So, from classes to events to anything that has to do with, like, school life, high school life is documented in the yearbook. Sports, like, everything is documented in the yearbook. Like, it's, you know, thick with 2 C's. Okay. What am I saying? Oh, I need help. That's what I need. But I'm in yearbook. point is, I'm in yearbook. And my teacher, she asked me if I knew how to use Photoshop. So I was like, yeah, I have some experience with that. And she wanted to know if she could get this sort of like effect on some of the pictures for like the dominant pages in the yearbook. So I was like, yeah, I know how to do that. I can like experiment with it. So I got on the computer and started doing it. I spent like the whole class, and it was just like a rough like draft. Like it wasn't like an official thing. She just wanted to see what it would look like and if, you know, she wanted to use this sort of like Photoshop effect like in the yearbook. So I did what she said, and this kid came up to me and was like, that looks like paint, pointing to my thing. And I know how that like maybe doesn't seem like a lot or doesn't seem like it makes sense, but how I perceived it is he was trying to say like, oh, that looks like you did it in paint or something, like you don't know what you're doing with Photoshop. And this kid really gets on my nerve. Like he already got on my nerves before, and just and then him pointing out my Photoshop like rough draft really kind of ticked me off, because he's one of these kids where he's like, I don't know if you know the type, or if you have the type in your school, or just know this person in general. The type of kid that, like, acts really professional. He knows what he's doing in his craft. Like, this dude, he is really into film, and he's very, vocal about his film skills and how he edits these, like, the way he talks is like he's a professional. And I know this is probably sounding like really hypocritical and like really like, I don't know, maybe it's sounding kind of condescending. I don't know, but like the way he talks about like his interests and like his art is the way that it's almost like superior, and like he's like speaking almost like condescending. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, he's just like that in general. That's the vibe I got from him before I even, before this whole event happened. So when he pointed to my thing, was like, that looks like paint. I wanted to be like, yo, you can put some paint, you know, you can put your paint, you know. Like, it was just made me so mad. And because it was a rough draft, and plus like a lot of like my Photoshop on my computer, I have different default tools, so it took me a lot longer to find tools that I needed, like because my default ones on my computer are different than the ones on this one, and I just, you know, and plus I don't have a lot of experience with Photoshop. Like I just recently started using it like earlier this year, and this dude that's trying to act like he like owns the place and like knows everything about film and photography and videography, and I'm not saying he doesn't, like he knows his stuff and he's good at what he does, but the way his attitude about it is just really nasty. Like, you need to fix that, you know? Can you get some bleach for your attitude, okay? So yeah, his that looks like paint comment really annoyed me. I can't help my voice. People just get on my nerves. I don't know. This whole week has just been terrible. And this, now that I'm saying this out loud, this doesn't seem like really a big deal, but like in the moment, like I already hate people at my school. Like I already hate being at school. And then I'm like, try to be good at this one thing that my teacher asked me to do, and then you try to criticize my art piece. Like if she wanted you to do it, she would have asked you, boo, but she didn't. So, shut up. Oh my god, okay. I need to stop. That annoyed me the most out of the whole week, if you couldn't tell. I actually started a note about stuff I wanted to complain. Oh yeah, it's called Podcast Complaints. Love that. I put that in my phone. Oh yeah, this is another thing I want to talk about that was annoying me this week. On top of college, and then on top of this kid, in yearbook, I feel like because there's been so many expectations on not only like me, but like seniors in general, but me in particular, there's a lot of pressure with college, and then especially SAT prep. Like I'm taking my SAT for the third time. I don't even want to take it another time. I already take it twice. Yeah, so there's just a lot to the story I'm not going to go into right now. But anyways, SAT prep, college, supposedly supposed to be college planning, supposed to be planning everything for my life right now. Been in a terrible mental place this entire week. It's been kind of better towards the end of the week. Like, Tuesday I started feeling a little bit better towards the end. I don't know. But like, the beginning of the week, the most of the week has still just been iffy. Last week was terrible. Like, mental health is just really hard, and I already struggle with it, and then just trying to do everything and maintain everything is just hard. Okay, I'm ranting again, but, point is, with all these expectations, there's also, I've been trying to keep up with, like, my hobbies and my interests, and I've been working on this documentary for this, like, experience I had over the summer. It was a really cool trip that I took, and it was a lot of fun, and I met a lot of really interesting people, and I filmed, and I wasn't even, originally I wasn't intending to make a documentary, but it turned out into a documentary. So I've been working for the past 2 months for this documentary, so over the summer, and I've been working as hard as I can. It's been a little tough because over the summer I worked, like, I had a 9 to 4, basically, so, you know, a lot of my day was spent at work, and I didn't have, you know, all the time in the world to work on it that I wished, and then I got to school, and I had school, basically 9 to 5, and, or like a 9 to 4 again, and, I, you know, have even less time to work on it, and with all this pressure, not only from, like, school, and then from parents, and then from college, and then from, you know, your teachers, I felt like I really needed to get this documentary out because all these people that I met during this experience, I feel like were relying on me for this, and, like, oh my god, I feel so bad because I keep saying, like, oh, I'm almost done with it, I'm almost done, but, like, I'm a perfectionist, and I really try to make this the best that I can. As of right now, I'm actually done with the documentary. It's done. I finished it on Tuesday. I'm filming this on a Friday. And, but the whole, like, pressure leading up to it was just so terrible. And I've never felt so, like, trapped and, like, just confined, like, in my life. And, yeah, so, like, not only was it just, like, school pressure and just, like, other pressure, but then pressure from your parents, not only, like, do college, but also, like, finish the documentary, then also don't do the documentary, do school, and it's just, like, what do you want? Like, I don't know what you want, but, like, I knew this documentary was important to me, and it was just hard to, like, actually, like, just get it done, and I got it done, and I'm really proud, but my mental state was not necessarily the greatest, because, yeah, I basically have been spending, like, hours on weekends working on it, and then during the week, I never have time to. So that's why it's been taking me, like, longer as I started school to do it. Because I just, like, don't have time during the school week. At least with my job. Like, I had time after work because it was still summer. But with school, it's just been, this process has been dragging out for a long time. And I'm done now. But, like, the pressure during it was, like, terrible. Because it's, like, every time you think you want to do something for yourself, it's like everyone's like, why aren't you doing stuff for school? Like, I could be working right now. But it's like, sometimes the grind needs to stop, okay? Like, overworking yourself is not good. Your mental health is very important, even if other people can't see that. Like, you know when you are, like, the ship is sailing. Like, you know when you have issues and you're not in the best of spaces. And sometimes you need to take a step back and stop and have the grind stop, you know? Like, it's just been really hard. And especially when, like, parents or just other people don't see it, like, see what you're experiencing. Because, like, I was just so exhausted and I wasn't taking care of myself. Like, I wasn't eating as much. I wasn't, like, bathing as much. Not to feel like I don't bathe, but, like, you know, like, it's, anyways, it's just hard, because it's like, I want to do stuff for myself, because being creative is the only way that I'm gonna stay sane, and that's just the reality of it. Like, I am most productive when I can use my creativity. And I feel inspired for life when I actually do that. Because matter of fact is, school doesn't motivate me at all whatsoever. Because it's school and I really don't, like, nothing I'm learning in school is really, like, benefiting me. I mean, this year it's kind of different because I am learning stuff that benefits me. Like, a little bit, like, personal finance and, like, government. Oh, speaking of government, oh my god, I have another story about that. But yeah, so benefit. So like, I need to do things to benefit me and to like that attain to my creative passions, to stay sane. Like, I can't just do work all the time because that doesn't motivate. Like, just saying like, oh, I have to do this for school because it's due on Friday, like that doesn't motivate me at all to do work because there's no purpose. After high school, none of that shit matters, you know? And it's just like, I just don't, my brain doesn't work like that. Like, school isn't motivating for me, so I need to find other ways to motivate myself. And in this whole like week where I've just been told to do everything but what I want to do or what I need to do for myself or anything but take time for myself has been really damaging and kind of hurtful. And another reason why I strongly considered to rename this podcast "Why People Suck." Why society is lacking. Fix yourself. What a name. Good job, Mackenzie. Yeah, so I don't even know where this rant has been going. If you're even here to this point, shout out to you. Know that the grind has to stop sometimes, and that's a good thing. When you need to take time for yourself, life is all about balance, and if you feeling super overwhelmed and your brain and your body physically hurts, like if you're not being completely yourself, you're not taking times for your passions and for doing things that motivate you and inspire you, you need to take a step back and take a breather and just take it all in. Like, you need to just take a step back, take some time for yourself, and just take some deep breaths and just take life in, because it's hard. And sometimes you won't really have people that really understand you or support you, or people that are like, oh, why aren't you doing work? But we're living in a society where overworking yourself is almost like praised. Like, you know, I always had this dumb saying like, oh, you know, the grind never stops, because, you know, people like say that and it's just like funny. But like, honestly, sometimes the grind has to stop. And like, we live in a society where our mentality is almost like, if you're doing nothing, it's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm doing that. Like, I'm like, if you're sitting on the couch watching TV, it's like, but I could be working. Like, sometimes you need to sit on your couch and just do nothing and just let your brain just chillax for a second, because it's just, you know, it's a hard world out there. And there's a lot of things that are going to stress you out. So, I mean, you need to take time for yourself. It's so important. I really want to take, like, a trip. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. A trip somewhere just, like, far away, but somewhere where it's just, like, quiet and, like, somewhere that I can just sit in, like, silence. I've just been wanting silence a lot recently. It's hard to have silence at home when you live with a family that's loud. But, yeah, I really want to do that at some point in my life. Just take a trip. Doesn't have to be far, but somewhere scenic that you can just sit in silence and just rejuvenate yourself. Like, literally, like, somewhere where you have no plan, you know, no, like, not necessarily any sightseeing, just somewhere you can just take a breather and just stop. Let the like, observe the world around you and just reevaluate your place on the earth. That's a really interesting thing that I've been talking about in Bible study lately. We were starting to go through, like, Genesis and, like, creation. And, like, it's so cool when you think about creation. It's, like, it's just so amazing. Like, someone said, like, I don't get how you can, like, walk outside and then not believe that there's a God. Like, how can you look up at the stars in the sky and then not believe that there's a God? Like, how can you just look at everything around you that's not man-made and be like, you know, evolution? Like, that is such prevalence that God exists and that he is holy, and, like, it is just so cool. I don't know, like, I can even like really express it into words, but like, you know, that Bible verse that says, "Be still and know that I am God." That's what I feel like I need right now. I need a trip to be still, and I need to get back with God. That is something that I've been missing in my life recently, but I just need to be still and just like evaluate, especially when you evaluate like your place on earth and you see when you go outside and in nature, like you see how big God is and how big how small we are. And like the same God that created the universe and who created oceans and who created, trees and who created animals and created insects and who created the universe, the Milky Way, the stars, the moon, the sun, that same God is the one who created you. And he created you just the way you are. And that is so weird. Like, I can't really wrap my mind around that. The same God who created the heavens up above, the oceans, the seas, the trees, the birds, everything is the same God who created you and thought you belonged on this earth and thought that you are what the world was lacking. Man is what the earth was lacking. And yeah, we're doing a lot with Genesis right now, and I think that's really cool. I might do I keep saying I'm going to do like Jesus podcast, and I do need to do Jesus podcast because I do. My podcast actually called You Have Purpose has 75 views. How? I really don't know. It's like on SoundCloud. I don't really know how to check how many views it has other places. I don't know if SoundCloud, because I use the RSS feed from SoundCloud, I don't know if that just shows all my views in total or if it's just views straight from SoundCloud. I don't know. No one knows what I'm talking about. Okay, but I'm gonna take a break right now. I'm done ranting. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up in a little bit and we're gonna continue this discussion. We're actually gonna talk about what I meant to talk about. So, yeah. Alright guys, welcome back. I actually noticed that I was gonna tell like a story about my history class, then I didn't, or my government class. So I'm gonna tell it real fast. It's not really like a deep like story. Basically, I'm a part of a group project and like no one does everything. You know, we all know how group projects go. One person does all the work, but everyone gets the same grade because America. Love the education system. And then my teacher literally has no sympathy for me, even though I'm doing all the freaking work, and he just doesn't give a shit. He's just like, oh, no, we're just, you have to do all the work. I'm not gonna talk too much about it, because I'm done ranting, and I want to keep that as a thing of the past. But, you know, you can kind of, if you are a high school student, you or a college student, a student in general, you know what group projects are like, and how no one does crap. So, you know. Gotta love that. But we're gonna go back and we're gonna what is that word? Come back together? What is that word? Recollect. We're gonna recollect ourselves and we're gonna come back together and we're gonna settle down. And if you can tell by the title, I called it Just Do It Like Nike because I really wanted to talk about the whole Nike controversy, which was literally 2 weeks ago, because, you know, love that. I mean, when I thought of this idea, it just happened, but, like, I already had my senioritis podcast, like, planned, and, like, I wasn't gonna, like, film this and, like, upload that later, you know, because it's, like, time sensitive. Anyways, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm doing it now. Late to the game, as always. But if you have been living under a rock and don't know what the whole Nike thing I'm talking about, it's the thing where people are, like, burning their Nikes. Nike recently, for their 30th anniversary, like, Just Do It campaign, they had Colin Kaepernick on the face of their campaign, which says, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. So, that's what got everyone in their feels, especially in social media. And it's pretty split. Like, honestly, I don't think the majority of people had a problem with this, But, like, it's the same people who had the problem with the whole take a knee thing. Like, are the same people that are burning their Nikes. So people had, you know, an issue with having Colin Kaepernick on the face of Nike, and were like, well, if Nike is going to, you know, do this, like, represent a man who disrespected America by doing a peaceful protest, by kneeling during the national anthem during an NFL game, well, I'm gonna burn my Nikes that I already spent money on. Or, like, some people literally ripped the swoosh off of their Nike gear. So, like, socks, hats, you know, what have you. They just, like, ripped the swoosh off of them. First of all, when I first saw this, the first thing that came to mind is, oh wow, look at all these rich people who have so much money that they can destroy things and burn things that they spent their money on. Like, if you really have a problem with having Colin Kaepernick on the face of Nike, like, honestly, I just, like, why would you, like, destroy something you've already spent your money on? Like, why don't you just, like, donate it to something that supports something you believe in? Or, you know, donate your Nikes to a Salvation Army, or, like, is that furniture, or is that close to? I don't know, like, donate your things, as opposed to someone who could actually use them, as opposed to destroying stuff you've already paid for. And, because I don't know, like, I just don't get why you would do that. Like, it's like, oh my god, I have so much money, I can just burn my Nikes and as a protest. I'm like, the boy kneeled during the national anthem, and you're, like, burning merchandise. Like, I don't know, I just don't see how you can really get that upset over it. I should have talked about the situation more, but I just kind of assumed, since it's been a while, that people, like, already know what happened. Colin Kaepernick, he was an NFL player. He kneeled during the national anthem back in, like, 2016, 15. I don't know when Colin Kaepernick first took the knee. But he did it as a protest to police brutality, because he didn't want to stand for honoring a country that clearly disrespected, or that he felt disrespected black people and people of color, and, like, he just didn't feel like he wanted to stand up and, like, almost, like, be proud of this country when there's so much wrong that is being done to people of color. So his form of protest was to kneel during the national anthem. He said that one of his, like, NFL friends, or someone that he was associated with him through his job, and suggested to kneel as opposed to sitting during the national anthem, because veterans kneel when one of their brothers has fallen, or, like, has passed in war. So he decided to kneel because he thought it'd be more respectful than sitting, and that's when that's how his protest began. He and only a few people started, like, kneeling at first, and then that happened for a few NFL games, or, like, actually a lot of NFL games. And then fast forwarding to recently, 2017, when Donald Trump opened his mouth and said something about, like, I don't even know what it was, but I just saw the clip on Twitter where he said, he was like, wouldn't you love to see when one of these son of a disrespects our flag, to have the NFL owners say, get that son of a off my field right now, something like that. So that's all I remember. I'm not gonna quote it word for word. I might actually include a clip here. Maybe. Okay, if future Mackenzie did that, there you go. I'm actually write that down. Like 37. That's like 37. I'm gonna write that timestamp down. But yeah, so he said that, and then that brought the whole, like, debate, that widespread debate up again about, is it disrespectful to kneel during the national anthem? And a lot of people are saying, oh, because, like, so many people fought for our country, and it's being respectful to our veterans, it's being respectful to our military, things like that. And honestly, what I think about that, I mean, I totally understand that, and I see where people are coming from. I do have family who have fought in military and in war, for people who have died literally for our freedoms. But at the same time, I feel like the reason they fought is so we can have these liberties, the things that make America America. Like, they fought for our freedom of speech and our freedom of, religion, our freedom of they fought for all of our First Amendment, like our amendment rights, freedom of speech, our First Amendment being one of them. So I don't know why, I just don't really see how people, because it seemed to be a lot of like military people and veterans, like if you fought for these freedoms, how do you find that necessarily disrespectful? Because, I mean, let's be honest, like if you go to schools, any modern schools, especially when you get to high school, a lot of people don't even stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. So, like, we've gotten to a point where, like, yes, I appreciate the word, you have literally put your life on the line for us. Like, that is, like, beyond, that is incredible. Like, so many people fight for our country and fight for our freedoms. And, like, yes, but, like, wouldn't you agree that you fought for our freedom to express ourselves and to fight for what we believe in? Like, you fought for us so we can continue to make our country better. So why can't we make our country better with that freedom that you fought for us for, if that makes sense? So that's just how I see it. I see it as a peaceful protest. He even got when Colin Kaepernick said that he decided to kneel instead of sit, you can see that he was trying to get outward outside perspective on what he should do. It wasn't just like he decided, all right, y'all, I'm gonna kneel one day. Like, he actually seemed to have put thought into doing that. And then on top of that, Colin Kaepernick also already had was a deal with Nike. Like, he was already a part of their, I guess, sponsorship program since 2011. Like, Nike has already been had a contract with Colin Kaepernick since 2011. He's just the face of the new 30th anniversary Nike ad. So, I just don't really see how people are just getting their panties in a twist now when, I don't know. I just don't really understand it completely, and for the very reasons that I had just explained. Yeah, to burn your Nikes, I don't know, that just seems kind of childish almost to me. You already spent money on it, so if you're really that upset about it, give it to someone who needs it. Why are you just gonna just burn it and just I don't know, just support a different brand? I don't that just seems very juvenile to me. That's how I think of it. But the Nike ad is really powerful. I don't know, I like that saying, believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything, because I feel like that's what makes not only Americans but just people. I feel like we're supposed to be fighting to make our world a better place, and I don't know why you wouldn't be on board with that campaign. I actually bought a new pair of Nikes because of the Colin Kaepernick thing. As soon as I heard about it, I've been wanting these shoes for a while, but I just didn't know if I wanted to drop $100. But my dad was really nice and he bought them for me because he was like, hey, let's support our man Kaepernick. So I have a pair of Nike, I think they're Air Max 07s. They're in the olive green color. They're really nice shoes. I like them a lot. Wait, it's Nike Air Max. Oh, I think it's Max 97. Let me look up a picture so I can actually see if these are the right shoes. Oh no, that's not the right shoes. There's something. That's helpful. But they're nice. I like them. They're basically air, I'm not even gonna try to explain it. Anyways, yeah, so shout out to Colin Kaepernick. You a real one. I'm kind of running out of stuff to talk about now. I thought I would talk about the Nike situation for the rest of the podcast. Oh yeah, another thing I was gonna say was with this idea of Nike also using Colin Kaepernick as, the face, what about, I want to move into the idea of keeping it real and like keeping it authentic, keeping it 100. So I feel like if Nike can keep it real, and I want to support more brands that actually are more political and are more outspoken about, things that are going on in the country and in the world. Like, I really would love to see a trend in that, just in general with society. I feel like a lot of times companies are told not to be political because, that's controversial and that'll get you to lose customers. But I actually think the opposite. Like, I think when we make that a norm, it doesn't become such a taboo. Like, when we say we're going to stand up for something you believe in, like, that should not be a taboo to, like, that should not destroy your brand because you're, like, doing your human moral responsibility. Like, that should not be detrimental to your career, but unfortunately it is. Unfortunately it is. So it just kind of sucks because, I feel like I'm really vocal, especially on Twitter. When I made gaming videos for a long time, my Twitter is very much dedicated to, my, like, gaming side of YouTube. And I say a lot of, like, political things, and I, like, say my opinions on what's happening in the world. And it's not really talked about in the gaming community because, a lot of it is just games and just random stuff. But honestly, I find my purpose on standing up for things that I believe in, and I find the most, powerful and feel like the most empowering when I can be an influence, and when I can educate others, and when I can, like, take my stance in something that's greater, that's going to impact the world. So I feel like I definitely was sort of an outsider in that stance, when a lot of people on Twitter didn't necessarily talk about things like that. And because, it was like, that's completely understandable. Like, you do what you want with your Twitter. I'm still going to follow you if I like your content. But people tend to be more, like, funny and, like, comical stuff. And I used to do more, like, of those just, like, funny, random, dumb tweets, too. But, like, not to sound condescending. But, like, it just around last year, I stopped doing that. And I found more benefit of tweeting something that was going to maybe impact someone's point of view, impact the way someone thought of something that was going to make a greater difference from myself. Like, I felt like every time I needed to post, it needed to be something bigger than just me saying whatever and just being stupid, Like, I feel like that's just been a new sort of switch, not only as on my Twitter, but also my personal Instagram and stuff as well, and on Snapchat too. Like, I don't Snapchat like my life, like my story. I don't know, I just don't do, like, random stuff. Like, I always feel like I post stuff when it's something that's, like, bigger than me, or something that's going on in the world, something that's really important to me. That's when I post on my Snapchat story, my Instagram story, is when it's a message that is great, like, there's a greater message. That's just when I feel most powerful and what I feel is most important to share with so many people watching, like. And just this media in this day and age, I feel like my place in the world is really just to show people, is to help, progress this world, to keep people informed, to keep people inspired, to, just to give people a message and a purpose that's, grander than themselves. It's grander than their community. There's something that can really have an impact on the world. I feel like I find most powerful and most fulfilling to me to post. And yeah, so I hope that can become like a trend. Not just, with individuals. Once again, you do whatever you want with your social media. Like, I'm not judging. I follow people that, like, that do all sorts of stuff. That's just how I feel for me, what I want to use my platform for. That's how I've been sort of driven lately, over the past couple of years. And I just wish more brands could just be more outspoken and not have it take a toll on their business. Because honestly, I feel like Nike sales, they went up. My dad was saying that their stocks, like, went up. Like, it dipped, like the first couple days, like that immediate reaction after the, the ad dropped. But then after that, like it literally like went up, like it skyrocketed, like it increased like 30% or something. So, and I'm a part of that 30%. Shout out to you, Dad. You a real one. But yeah, so the dip was like the immediate reaction, but overall it was really positive. And I feel like if Nike can be that example, like I feel like other brands will follow behind this naturally and be willing to take a stance for more things that are happening, because I definitely can appreciate that, and I definitely would like to do that in the future. I would love to open like a company, and I talked about this more, I think, in the first episode of the podcast, which is really bad, so, probably wouldn't recommend watching that. Anytime you start a new project, it's not going to be the best, but, anyways, I would love to start a company, and I would love being vocal to be a big part of it, and to share voices and share stories. That's a big part of what I want to do in the future, and as a career. Hey, future Mackenzie here. But there's something else I wanted to quickly add in, and it was the idea that a lot of people I've been seeing on social media have been saying, I just want to see football players play their game and not talk about politics. And honestly, I feel like that's almost sort of like offensive to not only to as an American, but as a human being. I don't know where in this podcast I exactly mentioned this, but I was saying it's almost like a moral responsibility to stand up for what you believe in, and to do your part in making the world a better place. Like, I really feel like that's almost degrading a person if you're just saying, I don't want you to talk about politics, I just want you to play your game. Like Colin Kaepernick could just have played his game and have still been in the NFL. But he took a stance for something that he knew was probably going to get him in some sort of trouble. At this point, he doesn't, he's not employed, he doesn't have a job right now. And he took that stance because he felt it was his moral responsibility to speak out for what was wrong in the world. So I just can't really get around to that when people are like, I just want to see you play your game. I almost take offense to that. Like, I don't know if I already talked about this or if this is coming up, but on Twitter, I had a gaming Twitter, and if people just told me, I just want to see you play your game, like, I would take offense to it. Like, I'm a person with thoughts and beliefs and values that deserve to be shared, and thoughts and opinions that deserve to be heard. Because obviously, marginalized people groups are not being heard. So I'm going to use my platform to speak my truth. So, and you can say that for anyone. If you are a teacher. I just want to see you, or maybe not a teacher, but like, okay, let's think of a different job. Like, if you were an accountant, I just want to see you punching your numbers. Like, I just want to see you counting checks, whatever accountants do. That almost takes, like, offense to, like, you don't even see me as a person. Like, you just see me as an occupation, like something to entertain you. Like, I almost think that's so just degrading as a person, that you're just denying the fact that they're a human with thoughts and beliefs and opinions just like you. So, I feel like, in a way, it's almost saying, like I want to be entertained by Black people, but at the same time, I don't want to have to be exposed to their issues, like, during the game. So, I don't know. Like, African Americans make up the majority of a lot of sports teams, and it's kind of going back to that conversation also. Like, people like Black culture, but they don't want to talk about Black issues. Unfortunately. I don't know. I just wanted to say that because I forgot to talk about it, and something else that's been up in the whole Colin Kaepernick debate. So, wanted to put that out there. So I hope that other, companies can take note, and just other people and individuals can take note of what Nike is doing. And keeping it 100, keeping it authentic, keeping it real should not be a sacrifice. Speaking your truth should not be should not be detrimental to your career, but it is. Like, Colin Kaepernick doesn't have a job now, and he took that sacrifice for the greater cause, for the greater good. So, you a real one. Mr. K, tops off to you. And, yeah. So that's all I kind of wanted to say. Keeping it real definitely is not the easiest thing to do in the world. Being authentic and being yourself is a process, and it is it's a process. There's no other really word to describe it. I'm not always the best about keeping it real. A lot of times I don't want to be authentic because of, what other people think. Thinking people won't understand. People just don't really get my situation. And yeah, that might be the reality, but that also should not stop you from speaking your truth. I'm speaking to myself right now because I literally don't do this. I need to be better about being more authentic with others and just about who I am and what I like, what I do, what I believe in. Because once again, activism is a huge part of something I want to be a part of my career. And I feel like it's a huge part of me now. And speaking truth to power should not be sacrificial, but it is. And it's just, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but it's just hard. Speaking your truth is hard. Keeping it real is hard. Even, with church, sometimes with the youth group, I don't always feel comfortable with, speaking exactly how I feel and what's exactly going wrong, in my life. What are all my problems? But because, a lot of people I know just won't understand what I'm going through and what my family situation is, they just won't get it. But that should not stop me from speaking my truth, because my truth is the truth. And it's just quote on Shrek. Donkey says this is really dumb, but it's so true. He's like, Shrek, what's the point of being able to talk if you gotta keep secrets? And it's dumb and it's silly because it's Donkey, but it's so true. What's the point of being able to talk if you have to keep secrets? We're social creatures. We're social beings. Our whole point on this earth is to literally communicate. So, what's the point of being able to talk if you gotta keep secrets? Facts. Hard facts right there. Yeah. So, keeping it real. It's a struggle, but it's an important struggle to have during life. I honestly think that's the story of life is keeping it real. Keeping it authentic. It's a battle between authenticity and fakeness. And actually there is this album by Israel Houghton, and I think his wife Adrienne Houghton is gonna be on it. And I saw on both of their Instagrams. So, it's called Road to Damascus, or Damascus. So, basically, it's a play on words of the tale in the Bible about the road to Damascus, Demascus. But it also talks about how we as people try to mask our emotions and our feelings and, our experiences. And the whole album is about demasking those things and becoming closer to God through that and closer to people. I actually have a screenshot. Adrienne and Israel Houghton put that on their Instagram story, and I took a screenshot because I thought it was really interesting. The album comes out, I don't think it's out yet. When does it come out? I'm not sure when it comes out. I don't think it's not out yet as of the time I'm filming this, but I'm not sure if it's out when this podcast goes up, if that makes sense. But this is the thing that was on Adrienne's Instagram, Adrienne Bailon. Her married name is Houghton. It says, "What's your mask? Road to demask us. Demaskus. The road to Damascus is a clever nod to the biblical tale of the Apostle Paul's journey of transformation and addresses the masks we wear. We mask our emotions. We mask our authentic selves. Houghton's prayer is that this album becomes a tool to help demask us." So, I really like that, and I just think it's really powerful. This is another I guess, promo piece that was on Israel's Instagram story this time. It reads, "It seems impossible to do now, but the moment you take the mask off, you will breathe a sigh of freedom." So, I love that. I don't know if that's a lyric from one of the songs. I'm not sure. As I said, it's not out yet. But it's, that's just a really powerful statement. We oftentimes in life hide our authentic selves, and we need to demask us. And, keep it real. Okay, let me actually go ahead and I'm gonna go to Israel's Instagram, and I'm gonna see when this comes out. Let's see. Music? Oh, that's what it is. That's Promise Keeper. I think that's on Road to Damascus as well. Your love never fails, and it never will. Facts. When is this? I'm trying to find the date. I really can't find this. Oh my god, why is this so long? I want to know where... Okay, I don't know when it comes out. But anyways, I like that. You should search for it or, pre-order it. It's probably, out, but, you can pre-order. You can't listen to it yet. Okay. Anyways, that's really cool. Tori Kelly also came up with an album that my youth pastor posted on his Instagram story, and he said it was really good. Hiding Place. Yeah. I need to listen to that. That needs to be... I'm going to actually open my Spotify and put that on my thing. Because I need to listen to Hiding Place, because I heard it's really good. And then I also need to listen to Road to Damascus when that comes out. Alright, love making notes to myself. So other people I've been really enjoying, Christian artists, have been Swoop, SWOOPE. He has an album called Sunshine, SONSHINE, and that's been really good. I've been really enjoying that. Is this not recording? Oh, it is recording. Oh, I was open my Spotify. That's why it just froze. Hopefully you guys heard me saying that. I was talking about Swoop, SWOOPE. If it did cut out, because I'm not gonna listen back to this. And he has some really good music. He's a Christian hip hop artist, and yeah, it's just a really good album. The whole I recommend you listen to the whole album through, because it's a story, and each song fades into the other. So it just makes more sense when you listen to it all the way through. Actually, he just showed up as soon as I opened up my Spotify. Swoop's on there. He was the one that's what I played last. All right, let me actually look up Hiding Place by Tori Kelly. I'm actually seeing Lecrae in concert next month, and I'm really kind of shook. I bought the tickets. My mom. Shout out to you. My mom bought me tickets. To see Lecrae. Back in I want to say the beginning of summer, June, something like that. Maybe even earlier than that. But yeah, and it's so weird to think that it's a month away and it's almost happening, and I'm kind of shook. And oh my god. Okay. Alright, let me go ahead and this. Is that wait, hold up. Oh, Lecrae's on Masterpiece. Oh, I need to hit that up. Wait. Okay. I'm gonna do this off camera. But oh yeah, I need to listen to this. Okay. This seems like it's about to be fire. Alright. Did I really just say fire? Okay. I need to not. I'm gonna go ahead and end up this podcast episode right here. There's a lot of things that I'm loving, and I really would love to do a podcast of random things I'm obsessed with, because I can talk about this for ages. But I'm not gonna bore you guys with that right now. So if you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to leave a rating or a review. Send us an email. Let me know what you're thinking, what you like in this podcast, what you don't like. I really do want to make these good. If you think they're good, let me know that, because I don't know unless I get feedback. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this and could relate to it in any way. And I don't know, I feel like I'm about to do like a YouTuber's outro. But I'll see you guys next week. Bye. That was such a weird bye. Bye, guys.